York's classic rock. Q1043.
B. Dylan Hollis is with us here, author of Baking Yesteryear, the best recipes from the 1900s to the 1980s. And Dylan, you just go by the name Dylan.
Yes.
Right? Not B. Dylan.
No, the B is just for pomp and
Just
circumstance.
Dylan. The book is Baking Yesteryear. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. I mean, it's really nicely put together. It's on fine quality paper. The photography is absolutely awesome.
Isn't it?
Totally food porn.
Yeah.
Vintage food porn,
Yes.
as a matter of fact. Kind of like looking at old pinups from the 1930s or 40s.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
And we welcome you this morning to Q104.3.
Thank you kindly for having me.
So, Dylan, you were born in Bermuda, subject of Her Majesty, and you came here to the United States to study music in Wyoming.
That's right.
You're a piano player. You started playing when you were 6 years old.
Yes.
And so your higher education included piano performance.
Mm-hmm.
However, you needed to make a living.
That's right. I graduated with my degree in unemployment in 2021 with my music degree.
I have a very close friend who has a degree in piano performance from Juilliard, who then went to NYU to get her MBA because she needed to work.
Yeah, I love what you say. I had decided to fast track my 4-year degree by condensing it into the 8-year plan. Yeah, I can relate to that.
I switched around.
Okay, but Dylan, you loved the music of the grand ballrooms in Bermuda.
Yes.
You know, calypso music, big
What a
band
great place
music.
to grow up, Bermuda. Wow.
You know,
Oh, it was a pleasure. Yes,
Yeah.
I always wanted to have like a set in a nightclub, or the old school nightclubs,
Uh-huh.
ballrooms, big band jazz, the type Harry James used to play.
Right. Well, I was in Bermuda once.
Yeah.
You know, high tea at 4 in the afternoon
Yes.
in the hotel.
right.
Yes.
You had to be dressed real nice to walk
course.
through the lobby. I mean, it was really, really cool. So you had these dreams, and you have like this old soul musically,
Yeah.
and that translated into baking.
I know it's a logical next step, isn't it? But I had always collected old things. You know, I drive a
1963
That
Cadillac.
is a beautiful Cadillac,
Whoa.
too.
We saw the
Really nice.
Thank you. I came to the United States, and that's the first thing I said. First thing I got. What is more American than a boat? You know,
Yeah.
on wheels. And so
Wings.
old music. Yeah, that's right. Old music, old cars, and old books. And invariably, in old books, my old collection were a few cookbooks, and that was really how I got my foot in the door.
Well, I have had 2 of your recipes so far. Trevor is a really good cook, but he's always said that he can't bake.
I'm a savory.
However, he's been really, really active since he received your book, doing amazing things. He brought in the when he,
Velveeta fudge we did during Christmas time.
Yes.
Nice.
And I
Yes.
didn't tell anybody at the Christmas
and then
dinner
he
table.
poured the box of cereal into the blender and made a cake with no flour, which sounded really weird, but it was very delicious.
Goodness me, was that the Fruity Pebble?
That was the
cake?
Fruity Pebbles cake, I have to say. It was really interesting to me to make a whole cake in a blender.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, what type of substances those who came up with those recipes were on.
Yes.
Yeah, so you started for fun. I guess it was pandemic time. You're stuck in your room in Wyoming,
That's right.
and you got into this, historic baking thing,
Yeah.
but you made videos.
I did. Yes, it happened just to be on camera because during the pandemic, we all tried all manner of different things. Some people learned how to crochet. You got people trying to learn different musical instruments. And for me, I wanted to learn baking, but in that old school style. And of course, at the time, everyone was gravitating towards TikTok because, we had far too much time on our hands.
Yeah, we were getting bored sitting in our apartments, yeah.
Yeah, but you started baking. You put the videos on TikTok, and before long, you were like a worldwide sensation.
I had no idea. I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't understand what was happening. I still pinch myself. I've got a permanent bruise, really, in between my forearm and my upper arm, or, if I had an upper arm. It's been an incredible journey.
Well, when you are actually describing what it is that you're doing on camera, when you're baking, you're really infectious sense of humor comes through, even if you're just talking about an ingredient. I was watching a video of you the other day, and you were talking about this brand new invention of the corn syrup, that you were using. And in this book, your sense of humor translates to the page perfectly, to the printed page.
Thank you. I was really worried worried about if I were, going to be able to do so. And I did end up just, everything that I wrote, I said beforehand, because, if I can get it across in speech, I could get it across in text. And I think, it comes through easily because I found enjoyment in baking. I started not knowing about baking at all, but through doing it on camera, I managed to fall in love with it. And yeah, when you're enthusiastic about something, anything, people seem to take interest, and it seems to translate well to text.
And these are from cookbooks that start in the year 1900 and go to the 1980s. Now, I've never tried to bake in my life, but I have tried to recreate some dishes that I remember from youth, with recipes from the Settlement Cookbook, with the Good Housekeeping Cookbook. I can get close, but I can't get there.
Yeah.
But you seemingly have been able to get there.
It's been difficult, and it takes a lot of experimentation. It takes combining of, several different recipes under the same name to get the best version. Especially the older recipes, like you say, they were not very precise in their ingredients and methods. They really left you to it, and it's difficult to recreate.
Just these pictures, I'm
I
telling
know
you.
they're so
The photos are just awesome. Dylan Hollis is our guest. The book is Baking Yesteryear. It's listen to this book. This book has heft.
Yes.
This is beautifully bound. It's a lot of recipes, a lot of photographs, and I have not baked anything. I told you that Trevor has. He's brought it in a couple of times.
Man with the plan.
So when we come back after the break, Trevor is going to share with you something that he baked based on your book.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I tried to follow the recipe. It's not like my own invention.
Okay, so that's coming up next, right here on Q104.3.
Dylan, all right, so here's the deal. I made the Velveeta fudge for Christmas. I didn't tell the family. It went well on one side, not so well on the other. All right?
Okay.
I think I messed up, made it a little dry. I'm not a baker. Mm-hmm. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just watched your TikToks over and over again, laughed, and tried it again. On the other hand, the Fruity Pebbles cake worked out very well.
That sounds really good.
Very pleased to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what I did is I have a 2.5-year-old son. I handed him your book, and he walked back to me and said, "Wacky cake."
Really?
Yeah. So what? Explain the wacky cake for everyone real quick. It's the 1930s. This recipe.
Yes, it's a Great Depression cake. It goes by several names. There's the wacky cake. It also goes by crazy cake. Some people call it a 60-second cake, even though it takes longer than that to bake. And it's a cake without butter, without milk, and without eggs.
Yeah.
Wow. For the lactose intolerant people of today.
Is it technically vegan?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Wow.
So I'm going to show you the whole thing. All right?
Oh my,
Don't-
Trevor.
Stop, because
Here we
I
go,
definitely
here we go.
yeah, hand it over to him because it's dry. I feel it's dry. And
No.
and my wife sees me watching these TikToks over and over again, and she laughs because of the commentary. But she's just like, "Fruity Pebbles cake can't be good. Cheese fudge can't be good." And then we eat it, and she has almost the same reactions to you as well. It's just that. So I want you to try it. I'm going to give you the fork. You can go right into it. I don't care. We'll cut it up later.
You got it.
But yeah.
Knife? You got a
I
knife?
got the cake cutter too as well.
Good stuff.
So
I'm just gonna come in here. Let me. Presentation-wise, I'm gonna give you a 9.5 out of 10.
Really?
Wow.
This-
That's pretty good.
This is like, you got to realize for me, like, I watch all the cooking shows. This is like going to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant and then trying to replicate it and then give it to him. To me,
Yeah.
it's on the same level. So I'm nervous.
I'm
about
giving
it.
myself a nice slice.
Yes, a nice healthy piece there.
We're gonna. Oh, look at that crumb, Trevor. You've done well. I can tell you already.
So we're trying it out here.
Yes, this is Wacky Cake. You've got the nice icing. Isn't that the simplest and best icing
It was
ever?
only 2 ingredients. It was it's powdered sugar and cocoa powder.
And then just adding a bit of water until you get it to the right consistency. Because this was based off of sort of, really baking in times of difficulty.
Yeah.
Trying to make a good product.
Not a lot of resources, right? Yeah.
That's right. And they still wanted a treat for the kids. They didn't want to deny them of a fine dessert.
Yes.
So, all right, here we go.
You can be honest with me.
And I am. This is why this recipe works so well. Pardon me talking with my mouth full. It is moist, it is dense, it is easy, and most importantly, replicable. This tastes like when I was creating this recipe from the amalgamations of 5 different wacky cakes.
That works for me. It really
Wow.
This is singing, Trevor, I would call it.
Wow.
does. Thank you. No, but I have to ask you too. The book too is not just all the best recipes.
That's right. That's
There
right.
are some ones that I've seen on TikTok. Your reaction is really what gets me to laugh the best. But there's also the worst of the worst that you have in there.
Yeah, which
So-
is unusual. For most cookbooks, you like to have really good recipes in there. Seldom do you see a cookbook that features purposely bad recipes. And I wanted to include them for 2 reasons. Because, my journey on TikTok, back when I started writing the book, almost about half of the recipes that I tried were bad. I would literally pick one. If it sounded wacky, I would try it. And invariably, with wacky comes some bizarre takes.
Yes.
So I wanted to pay homage to that in the book. And also, I just wanted to inform people that even if it's in a cookbook, even if it's written by someone who may be acclaimed, there are some really bad ideas out there.
Clunkers. Yeah.
Well, we're talking, Jonathan. There's pickled cheesecake. All right, that one was a
Right.
prune whip cake. Was what that?
Yep.
Which I guess got the job done if you needed it to get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got the prune whip cake. In the book is a prune whip pie. You're right, but they're the same concept. They're a prune whip everything, even prune whip just by itself, which is literally just egg whites with stewed prunes in there. Like you say, does the job well. It clears you out if you
Yeah.
need it.
It does many jobs well, evidently.
But what's
Yeah.
the worst one? What's the worst of the worst? Number 1.
Number 1, let me tell you, it's the jellied meatloaf.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jellied meatloaf?
The 1930s, you take a lovely meatloaf, ground beef, nice and warm, right? All the good things we like about a meatloaf, even though it's polarizing. And then you do the flip side, the dark side of a meatloaf. You make it cold. You make it slimy. It is literally ground beef set in beef stock, but gelatinized,
Right.
and in a loaf mold. And
It's like cold grease or something.
Yeah, it is cat food.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now, when you did all this, did you realize you were funny? Like, you have talent as a piano player, but did you realize that you were also an entertainer just with your words?
No. I knew one thing, and I knew it because people informed me right the way through middle school and high school that I had a little bit of insanity in me. I was insane, goofy, and that's what got me by. I look like a toothpick, so you kind of make a fool of yourself, and that's what people focus on.
I'm fantasizing seeing you do a piano recital and then serving everyone dessert at the end of the show. I don't know.
He's the dinner and the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show.
Dinner and the entertainment and the food. Yeah.
So I just knew that if I could be myself, which had worked for me in person, that hopefully it translated. And it's just energy. I have fun in the kitchen. I have fun it's a fun subject matter, which baking is, especially old school baking. And if people tell me I'm funny, hey, I'll take it.
So last night was the book signing. The book is out now.
That's right.
All right, so this is the shameless plug section that Jim always talks about. Tell people how to get the book.
Right. So Baking Yesteryear, July 25th, which is today, its publication date.
It's actually going to air tomorrow. So,
You got it. Can
so
we?
just do
You
it
can
again.
say yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
That's
it.
right.
Do the same thing as I say yesterday.
So just start over from the beginning.
Yes. So shameless plug. Baking Yesteryear. That's right. You can literally find it anywhere books are sold. So that means Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Target, everywhere. And that's only because Penguin. So they really carry that. So yeah, it is available as of yesterday, and I firmly believe that everyone will enjoy it.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.